Do you identify as a victim or do you identify as someone who is empowered? Hi, my name is Patty, and I go both ways sometimes. Sometimes I feel like a victim, and sometimes I feel empowered, and I want to spend more time over being empowered and feeling that strength that's inside of me. And I do that through a lot of techniques, and I'm going to share those with you after I share the difference between being a victim and how you are a victim, what you can do about it, and moving into owning your own power. So, to tell you the truth, when I was a child, I was victimized, literally victimized. I have been a victim of sexual abuse. I've been a victim of sexual assault. I've been a victim of emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental abuse. I've had it all. And I know what it takes to come out of that. But what happened was I practiced that for many, many years. When you have the same particular experience over and over, you learn that unconsciously, and it's stored in your body and in your mental capacity, and it becomes an attention seeking behavior. You don't even know that you're doing it. So what happens is, as an adult, I became that person looking for attention for everything that bad had happened to me. And that was a lot, but I had to move away from that because it wasn't empowering. It was disempowering. Every time I talked about how horrible my life was, I just continued in that horrible life. So I had to learn to stop complaining, number one, and realize that that wasn't in my experience anymore. But the interesting thing was, I kept repeating the pattern because that's all I knew. So I had to become conscious of when I was acting as a victim. And what I also realized is if something doesn't feel safe to me, I can put up boundaries. I don't have to keep participating in it. Well, I've had to quit jobs because I felt victimized. I had to quit relationships and marriages because I felt victimized. I had to quit friendships because I felt victimized. I experienced it and I didn't want to have to do that anymore. And so when I stopped it, then I felt empowered. And is it scary? Oh, hell yes, it is. I'm telling you, it is not easy to move from, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, they're going to be okay, to, I, this is what I need to do, and however you are, let them, as Mel Robbins would say. Eckhart Tolle always says, it's my favorite quote of his, if you keep complaining about the same thing and don't do anything about it and accept it as it is and don't change anything, it's just madness. Is that what you do? It's what I've done. Stop complaining about the same thing and either do something about it, like get out of it, or just accept the way it is. Those are the only two choices. And if you accept it as it is, then you can start making a choice that is more loving to you. And I promise you, when you move out of and step out of that victim role, your life and everybody else around you is going to be so appreciative, because we're kind of tired of you complaining about the same thing. I know my friends can get really tired of me saying the same shit all the time, saying the same stuff all the time. And so today I am reading from The Language of Letting Go. And I hope that you really listen to this. I'm going to try to make it a little short. But really, to be empowered feels so good. And yes, it can be scary when you're learning a new skill. If you can just do this one thing, just say no. Just practice saying no and be okay with it. And then you've just practiced a little self-empowerment. In The Language of Letting Go today, on the January 19th, owning our power, and there is one feeling we need to pay particular attention to. Feeling victimized. We do not need to become comfortable with that feeling. How do we feel when we're victimized? Helpless, rageful, powerless, and frustrated. Feeling victimized is dangerous. Often it can prompt us into addictive or other compulsive behaviors like drinking or sex or spending or eating. We're learning to identify when we're feeling victimized, when we are actually being victimized, and why we're feeling victimized. We're learning to own our own power, to take care of ourselves, and to remove ourselves as victims. Sometimes owning our own power means we realize we are victimizing ourselves and others are not doing anything to hurt us. We just make up stories. They are living their lives as they have a right to, and we are feeling victimized because we're attempting to control them and their process, or we're unreasonably expecting them to take care of us. Have you ever done that? You're just feeling sorry for yourself and you're hoping that somebody will take care of you? That's being a victim. We may feel victimized if we get stuck in a codependent belief such as other people made me feel, others hold the key to my happiness, or I can't be happy unless another behaves in a particular way. And other times, owning our own power means we realize that we are being victimized by another's behavior. Our boundaries are being invaded, and in this case, we figure out what we need to do to take care of ourselves. To stop the victimization, we need to set boundaries. And sometimes a change of attitude is all that's required. We are not victims. So I want you to think about, and maybe even journal about it tonight, about all the things that you do in your victimization. How do you show up as a victim? Are you complaining? How, when you get rageful? All those things. And are they in your current experience? Like in this moment, then why are you being a victim? Because it's not in this moment. So how can you start paying attention and be empowered? So what do you usually do when somebody criticizes you? What do you usually do when you're frustrated? How do you behave? How do you act? And in order to go from thinking to feeling to acting one way, how are you going to think and feel and act in the similar situation? And that's your assignment today. Again, if you like this kind of content, I would love it if you subscribe, if you put a comment below if this resonated with you, or if you need some extra help on this, just let me know. And like this video, I would love it. And I have some other videos below that can help you with detaching from a very sticky situation. I love you.